Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Astronaut. I am so glad that you chose to click on this video here and hang out with me for just a little bit while I give you some of the latest gaming news. Now, just in case you did not know, last night we had the Game Awards 2017, and there they premiered a lot of really great videos and game trailers. The one that we're going to be covering in this video though is the game trailer that they revealed for Soul Calibur 6. Now, just to give you a few of the other notable standouts that they debuted at the Game Awards last night, they also debuted the trailer for Death Stranding, Bayonetta 3, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad. So if you want to look up some of those trailers and check those out, feel free to do that here on YouTube. But for this video, I'm going to be focusing on Soul Calibur 6. Now, guys, it's been quite a while since the last installment in the series. Soul Calibur 5 came out back in 2012, so fans have had to hold their breath for a number of years, and everyone has been kind of looking and kind of doing searching, looking here and there to finally get some kind of information about this title, and now we have it here today. And I am really excited to hear about this as well, because I had covered in one of my previous videos, I had covered some information which was at the time a leak and just a rumor that there was going to be an announcement for Soul Calibur 6, and I'm glad to see that it actually turned out to be real. It turned out to be true, and now we actually have a confirmation with this trailer to know that it is going to be coming out next year. Unfortunately, the trailer that they did show was really short and very brief. So if you choose to look that up and check it out, there's not really much to work with. You're just going to get maybe a few seconds of gameplay and whatnot. At least something is better than nothing. And as the game goes through further development, I would anticipate a longer trailer, possibly maybe by next year at E3, that we'll be able to really get a good understanding of the game mechanics and the gameplay and whatnot, and maybe any new characters they may have added. Alright everyone, I've taken the liberty to collect a few articles that I felt would give you a good glimpse into the upcoming title. The first article I have for you comes from IGN, and it's titled Soul Calibur 6 has been announced coming 2018, and it goes on to say, the game was revealed on stage by Tekken 7 producer Motohiro Akuba. Quote unquote, working together with Harada-san, I felt a great responsibility to continue Tekken's legacy of delivering the most dynamic and hard-hitting action within the fighting game category, says Akuba. This was no easy task, but I truly believe that we succeeded in fulfilling that goal. Utilizing the lessons that I learned from Tekken 7, I am ready to fully take charge of a new project. So that concludes that article. So at least you know now that the producer that is at the helm of this particular project is the Tekken 7 producer Motohiro Akubo. And this also gives you a clue into the kind of direction that they're going to take Soul Calibur 6. It'll probably have a lot of influences from a Tekken 7, and you might see some similarities in game mechanics and gameplay. The next article comes from Event Hubs, and I specifically chose this article because there's a portion of information that is incredibly insightful. It gives you some insight into the timeline of Soul Calibur 6, when it's going to be taking place, and possibly giving you a little clue into the storyline as well. So the article goes on to say, thus far we only get to see two combatants in the trailer, Mitsurugi and Sophitia, duke it out. But the game's graphics and visuals are already taking us right to the edges of our seats. Both characters look like their young selves, and this is definitely reflected in Mitsurugi's official artwork. By first appearances, this seems to be a step back in the series' timeline, as Mitsurugi was older in Soul Calibur 5. The official description from Bandai Namco notes that competitors can quote-unquote get ready for the triumphant return of 3D weapons-based fighting. So guys, going off of the insight from this article, it looks like Bandai Namco might not necessarily be picking up from where Soul Calibur left off back in 2012. It looks like they might be taking the series back in time and possibly starting a whole new storyline from there. So we'll just have to see and wait for a longer trailer to get more information on the direction of the game. Hopefully they might have a longer gameplay trailer available by E3 of next year. We'll just have to see. And finally, I have one last article for everyone. It comes from GameSpot, which is always a reliable source. And more specifically, I chose this article because, as usual, it takes things a step further. Instead of just discussing the general announcement information about the trailer and whatnot, it actually goes further into discussing the game mechanics as well as the weapons-based system and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys. It starts off with Bandai Namco has announced Soul Calibur 6, a new entry in its weapons-based fighting game series, coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC in 2018. The game made its debut at the Game Awards, where a teaser was shown. The video featured a young-looking Mitsurugi battling Sophitia. During the battle, the two weapons the characters wielded glowed different colors, indicating there will be some additional mechanic added to the traditional weapon-oriented battles. Soul Calibur 6 is being developed in Unreal Engine, just as Tekken 7 was, and it looks like the game has also inherited the dynamic camera angle. There was also a tease for what looks to be a new character who held a long staff-like weapon with blades on each end. Guest characters are something that Bandai Namco featured heavily in previous entries in the Soul Calibur series, with the likes of Tekken's Heihachi Mishima, The Legend of Zelda's Link, Yoda, and Darth Vader from Star Wars, and Image Comics' Spawn making appearances in the past. It will be interesting to see if Bandai Namco will continue the series trend of including guest characters in Soul Calibur 6. Alright everyone, that concludes all of the articles that I have for you today. Hopefully you found these articles to be helpful and resourceful. I tried very hard to find articles that went above and beyond just the general announcement information, something that would give you more of a glimpse into the upcoming title. And just to have a brief recap to go over everything that these articles covered. Number one, we now know that the game is going to be headed up by Motohiro Akubo from Tekken 7. Number two, we know it's going to run on the Unreal Engine 4 from Tekken 7 as well. Number three, the trailer shows a younger Mitsurugi and Sophia, which indicates a shift in the timeline. And number four, the glowing weapons indicate an added mechanic in the gameplay. Now before I go, I would like to leave a little commentary with everyone on the topic of 3D fighters. I'm really curious to see how well this game is going to perform when it comes out in 2018, especially given the fact that the last installment for the series came out in 2012. And it was around about that time in the early 2010s when a lot of other studios were making the decision to leave the 3D format and return to the 2D format for their fighting games. So now, fast forward to 2017, we have a lot of 2D fighters that are dominating the fighting scene. We have Mortal Kombat, we have Injustice, we have Street Fighter, and we have Marvel vs. Capcom, all of which are doing fairly well. So for this game to return to the scene, still backing the 3D fighting and whatnot, it'll be really interesting to see if the fans of the series will really rally together and continue to support, or to see if things have changed so drastically to the point to where it may not have that warm of a reception. So we'll just have to wait around and see. Alright guys, make sure you smash that subscribe button, click the like button, and say hello through the comments. I will see you next time in the next video. Astronaut out.